I'm just going to do a quick review and test on the Ozito Brushless Impact Wrench. It comes with the tool only, so I've got it there with the 4 amp hour battery, but you do need to purchase a battery separately. They're $99 at Bunnings and come with a 5-year warranty. So rated at 215 Newton meters. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be able to tighten or loosen something at 215 Newton meters. It just comes down to how they test it. So the tool itself feels good in the hand. It's got 3 LEDs on the front that come on when you pull the trigger and do stay on for a couple of seconds after you let go of the trigger. So out of the box it's ready to go. All you need to do is attach the belt clip if you wish to use it. I'm not using it on that one. So first I'm going to try it on some wheel nuts on the car that are torqued to manufacturer's spec at 120 Newton meters or 90 foot-pounds. My torque wrench measures in foot-pounds, so I just calculate it back from that. I had also planned on testing my 2 other impact drivers as well. They're just 1/4 inch drivers to see how they go in this test, but when I was playing around with them the other day and just comparing my new impact wrench to my DeWalt, I snapped the 1/4 inch bit to 1/2 inch socket adapter when I upped the torque a little bit on the wheel nut that I was trying to get off to see how they both compared. The Ozito is just the basic 150 Newton meter brushed version. They do a brushless version as well, but mine just came in a kit with the 4 amp hour battery that I have in the impact wrench at the moment. Also with a basic drill driver. That was on special at $80, so given that it's $70 for the 4 amp hour battery by itself and $30 for the fast charger, it was a good buy to get it at that price. The DeWalt is the DCF 887 brushless unit. It's a 205 Newton meter. It's got plenty of oomph. I can easily undo wheel nuts with it when I have a non-broken socket adapter. The Ozito, when I was playing around with it the other day, the impact driver would take off the wheel nuts, but it was struggling to do so. It's only rated to 150 Newton meters, so compared to the 205 of the DeWalt and the 215 of the impact wrench, you can see why it was lagging behind. I will be using the 4 amp hour battery in the impact wrench. The smaller batteries in the impact wrenches can sometimes reduce their power output a little bit, so I'm using this bigger battery as I've got there. I'll be testing that on the wheel nuts on the car, which I've already torqued up to the 120 Newton meters or 90 foot-pounds, so we'll get started on it. So I've got them at 90 foot-pounds or 120 Newton meters, which is the approximate recommended torque setting for these wheels, so shouldn't have any trouble taking these off. So as you can see, spins them off nice and easily. When putting them back on, it's always a good idea to start them by hand or with a basic socket, so that you don't run the risk of stripping the threads as you do them up. So I'll double check the torque on them in a little bit with the torque wrench once I'm done. So I realised I hadn't checked battery power before I did that first test, and even though I did it fine, I was only at 2 out of the 3 lights on the battery showing the power. So I've charged it up fully, and I've done those 2 same wheel nuts back up to 150 Newton meters or 110 foot-pounds, and we're going to give them a try. Alright, so it's taken them off relatively easy. Now I've got one more test that I'm going to go down the back to do, and we're going to see what we can get this thing to max out at. Okay, so for this test, we're out in the backyard. Got part of my bike rack sitting on the trusty fire pit, so that I didn't want to damage the wheels or risk breaking a wheel stud on the car, so I didn't want to lean on that too much because I'd be going well above manufacturer's specifications on those. Okay, so I just reset that, and we're now at 120 foot-pounds, which is just over 160 newton meters. So we'll swing on it and see how we go. That's still just a bit too much for it, so I'd say that 150 newton meters is kind of your cutoff for this. I did, before I started the videos out the back here, I did set it to around that 150 newton meter, and it did undo it, so in the same way that it took it off the car. So somewhere between that 150 to 155 is going to be your cutoff of usable torque for this torque wrench. But for what it's designed for, the home user, where you're generally only going to be doing wheel nuts, you're not going to be doing anything too crazy with it, it's going to be just fine. I'm mainly going to be using it for rotating the wheels on the cars. If I need to change the mower blades on the ride-on, I'll use it to crack the blades off there. So anything bigger than that, I will actually just put a breaker bar on it and crack it first with that, and then loosen it the rest of the way with the rattle gun. The impact drivers are really good for if you do have something that has a long thread on it and the thread can be a little bit rusted or not so good, and just save you having to fight it the whole way with a socket or a breaker bar. You can just crack it initially with the breaker bar and then spin it off with the impact wrench. It does come in handy. I've had to do that in the past. Thanks for watching. Quick try at 115 foot-pounds. There we go. So that was working hard. Yeah, we'll say that's about the limit.